Hello everyone. Today I will be doing few questions on equal intercept theorem. I hope you all have seen my previous video where I have explained about this theorem and I have done the proof also. So those who have not seen that video can check the video in the I button. Now today I have taken few questions from grade 9 textbook Concise Mathematics by Selina, and we will be doing few questions from exercise 12b. So before I could solve few questions, let me explain you very quickly what this theorem says, what equal intercept theorem says. So let's say there are three or more than three parallel lines. Let's say there are three parallel lines. And if a transversal makes equal intercept, if a transversal makes equal intercepts on these three parallel lines, then any other transversal will also make equal intercepts. So it means that if this is 2 centimeter and if this is 3 centimeter, then even this will be 3 centimeter. So this is all about equal intercept theorem. If I draw another transversal, let's say if I draw one transversal like this, even this transversal will make equal intercepts on these three parallel lines, right? So that's it. This theorem is very simple. So we will be using this theorem in solving few questions of exercise 12b. So question number 1 is, use the following figure to find BC if AB is 7.2 centimeter. So first let's observe the figure. Let's see what is given here. So you can see that there are three parallel lines and you can see three transversals also, right? This is one of the transversal, this is another transversal, and this is the third transversal. Okay. Now what else is given? You can see these marked, right? It means that CD is equal to DE. So can you use this equal intercept theorem here to find the length of BC when AB is 7.2 centimeter? So yes, we can use. It's a very simple question. Here, see what is given. These three lines are parallel, correct? And this transversal CE is making equal intercept on these three parallel lines, right? So even the other transversal, which is CA, even CA will make equal intercepts, right? It means CB will be equal to BA. So if BA is 7.2 centimeter, so BC will be how much? Even BC will be 7.2 centimeter, right? So here BC will be 7.2 centimeter. You can write down from equal intercept theorem, CB is equal to BA, so CB will be 7.2 centimeter. Now, next question is GE. You have to find GE if EF is 4 centimeter. So, EF is 4 centimeter and you have to find EG, right? So, again here EG is another transversal. So, even this transversal will make equal intercepts. So, GF will be equal to FE, right? Now FE is 4 centimeter. So what do you have to calculate? GE. So GE will be double of this, which is 8 centimeter, right? So you can write down that GE is equal to 8 centimeter. I'm not writing everything here. It's a very simple question. So you can write down all those details yourself. Okay. Now next is AE. You have to find AE. This you have to find out, right? If BD is 4.1 centimeter, so BD, this length is 4.1 centimeter. So again you have to use which theorem? Yes, you are right. It's midpoint theorem. You can see that in triangle CAE, in this triangle, B is the midpoint of CA, right? Because CB is equal to BA, right? So B is the midpoint of CA. Also, D is the midpoint of CE. Correct? So, according to midpoint theorem, line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle will be equal to half of the third side. It means BD will be equal to half of AE. BD will be equal to half of AE. Now AE you have to find out and BD is given. So from here AE will be equal to twice of BD, and BD is how much? 4.1. So this will be 8.2 centimeter. Alright. Now next the last one is DF. DF you have to calculate, and CG is 11. CG is 11. So again, this is also same like this one, right? In triangle ECG, in this triangle, F is the midpoint of EG, right? And D is the midpoint of EC. So again, you can use midpoint theorem, right? So again, from midpoint theorem, DF will be equal to half of CG. So DF will be equal to half of CG, and CG is 11 centimeter, so this will be 5.5 centimeter. Okay, now moving on to next question. Now in question number 2, in the figure given below, 2AD is equal to AB. So 2AD is equal to AB. So let's write down also whatever is given here. So given is 2AD is equal to AB. P is the midpoint of AB. So P is the midpoint of AB. It means these two are equal, right? So I can write down AP is equal to PB. Q is the midpoint of DR. Q is the midpoint of DR. It means these two will be equal to each other. So DQ is equal to QR. And PR is parallel to BS. PR is parallel to BS. PR is parallel to BS. So only this much is given in the question. And what do we have to prove? We have to prove that AQ is parallel to BS. So to prove AQ is parallel to BS. This is the first part which we have to prove. And the second part which we have to prove is DS is equal to 3RS. DS is equal to 3RS. Okay. So first we will prove AQ is parallel to BS. AQ is parallel to BS. First we will prove this, right? Now, how do we think about the question? So always focus on whatever is given and what you have to prove. Always you have to switch your mind between these two. Then only you will get the direction to think about the question, right? So first observe what is given. So yes, it says that P is the midpoint of AB and 2AD. 2AD is equal to AB. So from this what can you conclude? 2AD is equal to AB. So it means, can I say that these three are equal to each other, right? Isn't it? Okay. What else? Yeah, here Q is midpoint of DR, correct? This is also given. And I have to show that AQ is parallel to BS. AQ is parallel to BS. This is what I have to show. Now BS is already parallel to PR. This is given. So if I show that AQ is parallel to PR, then indirectly AQ will be parallel to BS, right? So let's take triangle DPR. In this triangle, A is the midpoint of DP, right? And Q is the midpoint of DR. So from midpoint theorem, what can we conclude? We can conclude that AQ will be parallel to PR. And since PR is parallel to BS, so even AQ will be parallel to BS. Right? So first part is done. Now before moving to second part, let's write down whatever we have discussed. So the proof is, so let's start from here that 2AD is equal to AB, right? 2AD is equal to AB, and what else? AP is equal to PB. This implies, now these two situation or these two conditions implies that BP will be equal to PA will be equal to AD. Alright. Now take triangle DPR. So in triangle DPR, A and Q are midpoints of DP and DR, right? DP and DR. This implies what? That AQ will be parallel to PR from midpoint theorem. Alright, now we know that PR is parallel to BS. PR is parallel to BS. Why they are parallel? It's given. So if I take this as 1 and this as 2, so from 1 and 2, what can you conclude? So from 1 and 2, we can say that AQ is parallel to BS, right? Because what is 1? 1 is that AQ is parallel to PR. That is your 1, right? AQ is parallel to PR. And what is second? Second is PR is parallel to BS. So this implies what? That AQ will be parallel to BS, right? So from 1 and 2, AQ will be parallel to BS. So hence proved. So we have proved the first part of it. Now the second part is you have to show DS is equal to 3RS. DS is equal to 3RS. So here if we show that DQ is equal to QR is equal to RS, then DS will be equal to 3RS, right? Now here already DQ is equal to QR, right? Only we have to show what? That RS is also equal to these two, correct? Now here, we have three parallel lines, right? BS is parallel to PR, this is given, and this is parallel to even AC also, just now we proved in the previous question. Now you have three parallel lines, right? So what can you conclude from the equal intercept theorem? What does the equal intercept theorem says? That if you have three parallel lines and if one transversal make equal intercepts, then even the other transversal will also make equal intercepts, right? So can we apply this theorem here? So you can see that here DB is a transversal, and you have three parallel lines, right? Now this transversal is making equal intercept. AP is equal to PB, right? So it means what? It means that DS will also make equal intercepts on these three parallel lines, right? So let's write down this information first. So how you will start your proof? So here we can say that AC is parallel to PR is parallel to BS, right? So let's write down, since AC is parallel to PR is parallel to BS and AP is equal to PB. AP is equal to PB, right? You have these three parallel lines and this is your transversal which is making equal intercepts, right? So even the other transversal DS, even this will make equal intercept on these three lines. So it means QR will be equal to RS, right? So since these three lines are parallel to each other and AP is equal to PB, this implies even QR will be equal to RS. From which theorem? From equal intercept theorem. Alright, now we know that DQ is equal to QR, right? We know that DQ is equal to QR. Why they are equal? It's given in the question, right? So from 1, let's say this is 1 and this is 2. So from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, what can you conclude? You can conclude that dq is equal to qr is equal to rs, right? In first one, what we have written, that qr is equal to rs. In second, what we have written, that dq is equal to qr. So these three are equal to each other, right? Now what we have to show? We have to show that ds is equal to 3rs, right? So ds, now here ds is how much? Can I split ds as dq plus qr plus rs, right? Now these three are equal to each other. So can I replace this with I need ds, I have ds here, I need rs, right? I need rs. So this I need. So can I replace these two with rs, right? Because they are equal to each other, no? You can write down here if you want that dq is equal to qr is equal to rs. So from here you will get ds is equal to 3rs, and this is what we had to prove, right? ds is equal to 3rs. So hence proved. Now once again quickly recap this question. So here what was given? 2AD is equal to AB, right? And P is the midpoint of AB. So we concluded that it means AD is equal to PA is equal to PB, right? What else is given? Q is the midpoint of DR and PR is parallel to BS. PR is parallel to BS. This much is given, right? Now we have to show that AQ is parallel to BS. Now we took triangle DPR. In this triangle, A is the midpoint of DP and Q is the midpoint of DR. So from midpoint theorem, we can conclude that AQ will be parallel to PR, right? Now PR is parallel to BS, right? So we can conclude that AQ will be parallel to BS. So first part is done. Now second part. In second part, we have to show ds is equal to 3 of rs. ds is equal to 3 rs, right? So for this, what we did? For this, we have to show that dq is equal to qr is equal to rs. Now here already dq is equal to qr, right? So what we did? We showed that qr is also equal to rs. How we showed that? Here AC, PR and BS, they are three parallel lines, right? So we use the equal intercept theorem to show that QR is equal to RS. So here DB is the transversal which is making equal intercepts, right? So even BS is another transversal. So even this transversal will make equal intercepts on these three parallel lines. Therefore, QR will be equal to RS. So we showed that DQ is equal to QR is equal to RS, and then we wrote DS is equal to DQ plus QR plus RS, and then we replaced DQ and QR with RS because in the proof we need RS, right? So we replaced these two with RS, and then finally we got the result. So, in exam, actually, teachers can change this, right? They can replace RS with DQ or QR. So, based on the question, you can decide which one to replace. Okay, so try to understand the logic. So, I hope it is clear. Now, let's move to the next question. Now, the next question is, the side AC of a triangle ABC is produced. So let's take a triangle ABC, and here the side AC. This side is produced to point E. So this side is produced to point E so that CE will be half of AC. So let's produce it in such a way that this CE should be equal to half of AC. Alright. Now D is the midpoint of BC. So D is the midpoint of BC. So these two will be equal to each other. And ED is produced meets AB at F. Okay, so you have to produce ED so that it meets AB at F. Lines through D and C. So lines through D and C are drawn parallel to AB. Okay, so from here we have to draw a line parallel to AB, which meets, so one more line we have to draw from C also, right? Because it says that lines through D and C. So from C you have to draw a line parallel to AB. Which meet AC at point P. So which meet AC at point P and EF at point R. So this is R. So this is your question, and what you have to prove? You have to prove that 3DF. So 3DF is equal to EF. Okay. Now this second part we'll see afterwards. First let's see how to prove this. Now you have to prove that 3DF is equal to EF. It means that you have to show that FD is equal to DR is equal to RE. This is what you have to show. Alright. So let's quickly see what is given in the question. It's given that RC is parallel to DP is parallel to BA. So 3 parallel lines are given. So this itself gives you a hint that yes, we are going to use equal intercept theorem here. Alright, what else is given? D is the midpoint of BC. Okay, so BD is equal to DC. What else is given? CE. They have given some information about CE. Yes, CE is equal to half of AC. So let's first write down whatever is given. So here AB is parallel to DP is parallel to RC. Okay, these 3 lines are parallel. BD is equal to DC and CE is equal to half of AC. Alright. Now, what do you have to prove? You have to prove that 3DF is equal to EF. Now, so how you will show that 3DF is equal to FE? So for that you have to show that FD is equal to DR is equal to RE, isn't it? Then only 3DF will be equal to FE, right? Now here, in all these questions, first try to think about the question. Just try to think what is given, what you have to prove, and try to, connect all the dots and then figure out which theorem you will be using. See here, I can see that 3 parallel lines are given, right? So I will immediately think, okay, I can use, equal intercept theorem, right? But I have to see whether all the information are there or not for me to use equal intercept theorem. So here I can see that, okay, 3 parallel lines are there, right? And if I take EF as the transversal, this transversal is not making equal intercept. I don't have any information, right? And if I take AE as the transversal, even this transversal is not making equal intercept. So right now I can't use equal intercept theorem, right? So I have to think of something else. Now what else is given in the question? They have given that D is the midpoint of BC, right? And from this D, there is a line which is parallel to BA, right? So now you can easily use which theorem? You can easily use one midpoint is given and one parallel line is given, right? So you can use converse of midpoint theorem, right? So for that you have to take triangle BCA. So in this triangle, D is the midpoint of BC and DP is parallel to BA. So what you can conclude from converse of midpoint theorem? You can conclude that DP will bisect AC. It means AP will be equal to PC, right? So I got some information here. Now after this, now what else is given? They have given something about CE, right? They have given that CE is half of AC. Now CE is half of AC. It means what? See, half of AC is AP and PC, right? So it means that AP will be equal to PC will be equal to CE, because it's given that CE is equal to half of AC. So we have shown that this transversal, CA transversal, is making equal intercepts on these three parallel lines, right? It means what? It means that even transversal EF will make equal intercepts on these parallel lines. So we can conclude that since CP is equal to PA, therefore RD is equal to DF. Okay, so we can say that these two intercepts are equal. Now what about RE? So for RE, you can take triangle EPD, right? In this triangle, C is the midpoint of EP, right? And CR is parallel to PD, right? This is given. So again, you can use converse of midpoint theorem and you can conclude that CR will bisect DE. It means ER will be equal to RD and RD is already equal to DF. So we have shown that here these three parts are equal to each other, and then we can show that 3DF will be equal to FE. Alright, so let's write down whatever we have discussed, then you will understand clearly. So first we have to take triangle BCA. Okay, so write down in triangle BCA. What do you observe in this triangle? That D is the midpoint of BC and DP is parallel to BA, right? This implies DP bisects AC. This is from converse of midpoint theorem. Alright. Now DP bisects AC. DP bisects AC. It means what? This implies AP will be equal to PC. Right? Let's name it 1. Also, what else you know? You know that CE is equal to half of AC. Right? Let's take it 2. Now CE is equal to half of AC. So from 1 and 2, you can say AP is equal to PC is equal to CE, right? Is it? AP is equal to PC, right? We showed, no? We just now showed that AP is equal to PC, correct? Now, CE is equal to half of AC. So half of AC is what? Half of AC is AP and PC. So it means CE will be equal to AP and PC. So these three are equal to each other, right? Okay. So this you can name 3 because this result we will be using further. Now you can write down that we have 3 parallel lines. So you write down AB is parallel to PD is parallel to CR, right? These 3 lines are parallel and EA is making equal intercept on these 3 parallel lines, right? So CP is equal to PA, right? Here CP is equal to PA. This implies even EF, this is a transversal, right? So even EF will make equal intercept on these three parallel lines. It means DR will be equal to DF, right? So this implies DR will be equal to DF from equal intercept theorem. Okay, so we have shown that DR is equal to DF, right? So this you can name as 4. Now what else you have to show? You have to show that these two are equal to this also, right? So take triangle EPD. So in triangle EPD, in this triangle, C is the midpoint of EP, and CR is parallel to PD. This implies what? This implies CR will bisect DE. CR bisects DE. Therefore, DR will be equal to RE. Let's name it. This was 4, so let's name it 5. Now DR is equal to RE, and we have already shown that FD is equal to DR, where we have shown that FD is equal to DR. Yeah, here DR is equal to DF. DR is equal to DF. So from 4 and 5, we can say that FD is equal to DR is equal to RE. Alright. Now, what do you have to show? You have to show 3DF is equal to EF, right? Okay, so let's take EF. And let's break it down. So EF I can write down as ER plus RD plus DF, right? So EF is ER plus RD plus DF, correct? Now I want relationship between EF and DF, right? EF and DF. So I will replace these two with DF because these three are equal to each other, right? So here write down EF is equal to, replace these two with DF, so you will get DF plus DF plus DF. So EF is equal to 3DF, and this is what you have to prove. So hence proved. So I hope it is clear to everyone, right? So we can quickly recap everything. So what was given in the question? It was given that RC is parallel to DP is parallel to AD. So three parallel lines were given, right? D is the midpoint of BC, and CE is equal to half of AC. So this much was given. Okay. Now what do you have to show? You have to show that 3DF is equal to FE. This is what you have to show. Now how did we show that? So first we took triangle BCA. In this triangle, D is the midpoint of BC and DP is parallel to BA, right? So from converse of midpoint theorem, AP will be equal to PC, right? Now it is given that CE is half of AC. CE is half of AC. Half of AC means AP and PC. It means CE will be equal to AP and PC. So it means all these three will be equal to each other, right? AP will be equal to PC will be equal to CE. Now we have three parallel lines, right? And CA is a transversal here. So this transversal is making equal intercepts on these three parallel lines, right? It means the other transversal, which is EF, even EF will make equal intercept on these three parallel lines. So DF will be equal to DR, right? Now we have to show that DR is equal to RE, right? So for that we took triangle EPD. In this triangle, C is the midpoint of EP and CR is parallel to PD. This is given, right? So again, from converse of midpoint theorem, CR will bisect DE. So ER will be equal to RD. So this shows that these three parts will be equal to each other. FD will be equal to DR will be equal to RE, and then you have to write EF and you have to break it down, right? EF you can write down as ER plus RD plus DF, and then you have to replace these two with DF because we need a relationship between DF and EF, right? So accordingly you will replace and then you will solve it and you will get the required result. Now second part is we have to show that 4CR is equal to AB. So we need to find the relationship between CR and AB, right? Now see, here we have parallel lines and we have so many midpoints. So it is very much clear that we have to use midpoint theorem, and from midpoint theorem we will be able to prove this. Okay. So first let's find the relationship between CR and DP, because CR and AB, you know, you need a triangle basically, right? You need a triangle to to use midpoint theorem. So right now if you see CR, so CR is connecting the midpoint of EP and ED, right? C is the midpoint of EP and R is the midpoint of ED. So you have to take triangle EPD. So in this triangle, what do we observe? That C is the midpoint of PE and R is the midpoint of DE. So CR will be equal to half of DP, right? So first let's write down this much and then I will tell you what we have to do further. So in triangle EDP, what do we observe? C and R are midpoints of EP and ED. This implies CR will be equal to half of DP. Okay, CR will be equal to half of DP. This is from midpoint theorem. Now we got a relationship between CR and DP. Let's see how DP is connected to AB, right? So if you see here, DP is the line segment connecting the midpoints of which sides of the triangle? So P is the midpoint of CA and D is the midpoint of CB, right? It means we have to take triangle BCA. In this triangle, these two midpoints are given. So the line connecting these two midpoints will be equal to half of the third side, which is AB. So again we have used midpoint theorem, right? So let's write down this much. So now in triangle CBA, or you can write down ABC, right? ABC, yeah. In triangle ABC, P and D are midpoints of AC and BC. This implies DP will be equal to half of BA or AB, anything. DP will be equal to half of DA, right? So we got a connection between this and this and this and this. So we can use this result. We can use result number 1 and result number 2. We can use these two results to establish a relationship between CR and BA. So how you will do that? See, you want CR and AB, right? So in this you have CR here and here you have AB here, right? And in both you can see DP is common, right? Correct? So can I do one thing? Can I put the value of dp from here to here in the first equation, right? So put dp is equal to half of ba in equation 1. In equation 1, right? So what is 1? 1 is CR is equal to half dp. Now in place of dp, I will write down half of BA, or let's write AB because in the question they have given AB. So this will be how much? CR is equal to 1 by 4 of AB. So we can cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we get 4 CR is equal to AB. So this is what we have to show, right? 4 CR is equal to AB. So hence proved. See, in all these questions, the biggest confusion is like which triangle you will be taking, right? Because you can see so many triangles. So always focus on whatever is given. So when you focus on that, automatically you will understand like which triangle you have to take. Okay, like for the second case, we have taken two triangles, right? So how to decide? So here I was looking for a relationship between CR and AB, right? Now CR is a line segment connecting the midpoints of which sides of the triangle? Obviously EP. C is the midpoint of EP and R is the midpoint of ED, right? So I got to know that I will take triangle EDP. Okay, I will take this triangle, and where C and R are the midpoint, so CR will be equal to half of DP, right? Now next, I was looking for some relationship between DP and AB, because ultimately I have to find a relationship between CR and AB, no, right? So how to figure out a relationship between DP and AB? So here I observed that P is the midpoint of AC and D is the midpoint of BC, right? So which triangle you are getting? You are getting triangle BCA, right? So here in this triangle, DP will be equal to half of AB, right? So like this, you have to figure out like which triangle you have to, use. So from first and two, you can equate first and two, and you can, solve it to find this relationship. So I hope it is clear to everyone, right? So let's move to the next question. Now question number 4 is, in triangle ABC, the medians BP and CQ are produced up to points M and N respectively. So let's take a triangle ABC. Here medians BP and CQ. So BP means I have to draw a median from here. So BP is produced up to a point M. Let's say this point is M. And similarly CQ, the median CQ is produced up to a point, let's say N. Alright. So in triangle ABC, the medians BP is a median. It means AP will be equal to PC. And CQ is also a median, right? It means AQ will be equal to QB. So these two medians are produced up to points M and N respectively, such that BP is equal to PM. So BP is equal to PM and CQ is equal to QN. Alright. So this much is given. You have to prove that MA and N are collinear. So MAN, they are collinear. So first try to understand what do you mean by collinear points. See, if I take some points and if I connect all these points, am I getting a straight line? No, right? So such points are called non-collinear, and these points, if I connect these points so that I get a straight line. Okay, after connecting these points, I am getting a straight line. So such lines are called collinear points, right? Now here in this question, they have asked you to show that M, A, N, these are collinear points. It means if I draw a line through N, A and M, I should get a straight line. This is what you have to show, right? So how to prove that? So take any point on this line, and from this point if I draw few angles, let's say this is one angle, this is another angle, and this is one more angle, right? So if the sum of all these three angles, let's say angle 1, 2, 3, if the sum of all these three angles is equal to 180 degrees, then can I say that here AB is a straight line, right? So if the sum of these angles is not 180 degree, in that case AB won't be a straight line, right? So we have to use this concept here. Let me just redraw this so that I can just draw a straight line here. Okay, now first let's write down what is given in the question. So here it says that BP and CQ are the medians, right? So BP and CQ are medians. Now what else is given? BP is equal to PM. BP is equal to PM. BP is equal to PM and CQ is equal to QN. This is N. CQ is equal to QN. Right? Only this much is given, and you have to prove that M, A, N are collinear. Alright, now how you will show M, A, N are collinear? Just now I told you that you can see that on this line, right? We have to show that this is a straight line. Yeah, you have to show M, A, N. This is a straight line. So at this point we can see that three angles are being formed, right? Three angles are being formed. Can we name this angle as 1, this as 2 and this as 3, right? So basically we have to show that, you can also write down that we have to show that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. If you show this much, it means that M, A, N are collinear points, right? Okay. Now how you will show the sum of these three angles is 180 degree. Now if you carefully observe this, here we have a triangle ABC. So in this triangle, if I take this angle, this complete angle as 5 and this complete angle as 6. So what can you comment about angle 2, angle 5 and angle 6? Don't you think that their sum is also 180 degree, right? See, angle 2 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 is 180 by angle sum property, right? And what we have to prove? We have to prove that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is 180 degrees. This we have to prove, right? And this is given. This is given in the diagram. We can see that. So, if you compare this and this, from this we have to do some changes and we have to arrive to this. Correct? Now here angle 2 is there, I have angle 2 here, right? So angle 2 is fine, I don't have to change this. I need to change angle 5 and angle 6. I have to convert both of them into angle 1 and angle 3. So let's see what relationship angle 5, 6, 1, 3 has. So you can see here in the diagram, angle 3 is here, angle 5 is here. Angle 1 is here, angle 6 is here. So now again carefully observe. Do you see any kind of relationship between 3, 5 and 1, 6? Don't you think that here angle 3 and angle 5, they are alternate interior angles, right? But right now they are not equal because I have no information, right? So if I show that angle 3 is equal to angle 5 and angle 1 is equal to angle 6, then I can replace angle 5 with angle 3 and angle 6 with angle 1. So I will get this relation, right? So now my aim is to show that angle 3 is equal to 5. How to show that? See here, if you are not getting how angle 3 and 5 are alternate angles, you can actually produce this line we can produce this transversal, and this line and this line and this line, you can see, right? You can see this top line is this bottom line is this, and this is your transversal, right? AB is your transversal. So angle 3 is here and angle 5 is here, right? So this is 3 and this is 5. So they are alternate angles, right? But I have to show that they are equal. Now, how to show that they are equal? See, angle 3 is a part of which triangle? Triangle QAN, right? Correct? And angle 5 is a part of which triangle? Triangle QBC. So if I show that these two triangles are congruent, then I can say, by CPCT, that angle 3 is equal to angle 5, right? So now think, can you show that these two triangles are congruent? Is it possible to show? So let's think that. So here we know that Q is the midpoint of CN, right? Because they have mentioned here, no, that CQ is equal to QN. CQ is equal to QN. They have mentioned, right? So yes, I got one point that CQ is equal to QN. Second thing, can I say that these two vertically opposite angles are equal, right? Now you need one more thing. So yes, you can see that Q is the midpoint of AB, right? So it means QB is equal to QN. So we have shown that three parts in this triangle, in both the triangles, three parts in both the triangles are equal to each other, right? It means the two triangles are congruent. You should see the sequence also, like which sequence you have taken the sides and the angles. So we took this side, we took this angle, and we took this side, right? So by side, angle, side, the two triangles are congruent. So by CPCTC, I can say that angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Similarly, I can show angle 1 is equal to angle 6, and we can replace angle 5 with angle 3 and angle 6 with angle 1, and we will get this result, that angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 180 degree. Therefore, MAN are collinear points. So I hope you have understood. Let's write down everything, whatever we have discussed. So the proof will be, in triangle ABC, angle 2 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees. This we know by angle sum property, right? Angle sum property. Now you have to show angle 5 is equal to 3 and angle 6 is equal to 1, right? So let's take these two triangles and let's prove them that they are congruent. So now in triangle QNA and QCB, in these two triangles, QA is equal to QB, why it is given. Then QN is equal to QC, why even this is given. And angle AQN is equal to angle DQC. Vertically opposite angles, right? Therefore, triangle QNA is congruent to triangle QCB by SAS. This implies angle 3 is equal to angle 5 by CPCTC. Alright? Now let's take this result as 1, this one as 2. Now again, similarly you can prove these two triangles are congruent, right? So let's write down, in triangle PBC and triangle PMA, in these two triangles, PB is equal to PM, how? It's given. Then PC is equal to PA, how? even this is given, and angle MPA is equal to angle BPC. This is vertically opposite angles. Okay, therefore triangle PBC is congruent to triangle PMA by SAS congruency. This implies angle 1 will be equal to angle 6 by CPCTC. Let's take this as 3. Now from 1 to 3, what can you conclude? From 2 and 3, I can place angle 5 as 3 here, right? So let's write on this. Now we know that angle 2 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 is equal to 180. From 1 we know that, right? Now angle 2 copy as it is. Angle 5 is equal to what? Angle 5 is equal to 3. So let's replace this by 3. And angle 6 is equal to what? 6 is equal to 1. So let's replace angle 6 as 1. So here you can write down from 2 and 3, right? From 2 and 3. From 2 and 3. So we got angle, basically this you can write in the sequence, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees. Right? You got this relation. Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is 180 degree. This implies, therefore, points M, A, N are collinear. So you can write down, therefore, points M, N, M, A, N. M, A, N are collinear points. So I hope it is clear to everyone. We can quickly recap everything. So what was given in the question? In the question, a triangle ABC is given, right? CQ is the median, BP is the median. Both medians are produced outside so that you get point M and N. And when you connect M, A, N, you should get a straight line. This is what you have to show, right? Okay. It means you have to show that M, A, N are collinear points. What else is given? Yeah. Even BP is equal to PM and CQ is equal to QN. So this much is given. Alright. So how did we prove this? How we proved that M, A, N are collinear. Now 3 points will be collinear. It means when you connect those 3 points, you should be getting a straight line. So here MAN will be a straight line only when angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 gives you 180 degrees, right? Now here we know that angle 2 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 is 180 because in a triangle the sum of all the 3 angles is 180 degree, right? So we know angle 2 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 is 180 degrees. Now we have to show 3 is equal to 5 so that we can replace 5 with 3, and then we have to show 1 is equal to 6 so that we can replace angle 6 with 1, right? So we took triangle QAN and QBC. We took these two triangles and we proved that the two triangles are congruent, and then by CPCT we mentioned that angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Similarly, in these two triangles, you will show that these two triangles are congruent, and then by CPCT you will say that angle 1 is equal to angle 6. Okay, and then you will replace angle 5 with 3 and angle 6 with 1 so that you get this relation that angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 180. Hence, M, A, N are collinear points. Alright, so I hope everyone has understood. So let's move on to the next question. Now let's see the next question. So question number 5 is, in triangle ABC, angle B is obtuse. D and E are midpoints of sides AB and BC respectively. So let's draw a triangle where angle B is obtuse, right? So let's draw a triangle like this. So here this is angle B because this angle is obtuse. So let's name it ABC, right? D and E are midpoints of sides AB. So D is the midpoint of side AB and E is the midpoint of side BC. And F is a point on side AC such that EF is parallel to AB. So you have to take point F in such a way that EF should be parallel to BA or AB, right? Now show that BEFD is a parallelogram. So BEFD, let's join this. You have to show that this is a parallelogram, BEFD. Okay, so let's see once again what is given. Triangle ABC is given where D is the midpoint of AB, so AD is equal to DB, and even E is the midpoint of BC, so BE will be equal to EC, and EF is parallel to BA, right? This much is given, and you have to show that BEFD is a parallelogram. So let's first write down given. So given is AD is equal to DB, then BE is equal to EC, and EF is parallel to BA, right? That's it. Yeah. And what do you have to prove? You have to prove BEFD is a parallelogram. Now first you all should know how to prove that any quadrilateral is a parallelogram. I have already done this before. Let me just quickly recap. So this quadrilateral will become parallelogram only. So this quadrilateral will become parallelogram in 3 ways. What are those 3 ways? Let's quickly recall. So if you show that one pair of opposite sides, let's say these two, one pair of opposite sides are parallel as well as equal, then this becomes a parallelogram, right? This is one way of showing any quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now second way is what? Second way is if you show that two pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Let's say these two are parallel to each other as well as these two are parallel to each other. So if you show this much, again the quadrilateral will be a parallelogram, right? Also, what is the other way? The other way is that if you show that opposite sides are equal to each other, two pairs of opposite sides are equal to each other, then it becomes a parallelogram, right? So out of these 3, you can use any one way to show that here BEFD is a parallelogram. So based on the given situation, we'll see which one we can use, right? So how you will think about the question, how you will show that BEFD is a parallelogram. So here if you see, EF is already parallel to BD, right? This is given in the question, correct? EF is parallel to BD. Now what else is given? Yes, here it's given that D is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of BC. So E is the midpoint of BC and EF is parallel to BA, correct? So what you can conclude from here, which theorem you will use here? E is the midpoint of BC and EF is parallel to BA. So from the converse of midpoint theorem, can I say that even F will be the midpoint of AC? Right? I can say that, right? So now I got that F is the midpoint of AC. Now if you see, D is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC. So this is the line connecting the two midpoints of the two sides of the triangle. So now from the midpoint theorem, I can say that DF will be parallel to BC. So this implies DF will be parallel to BE. So here I have shown that here in this quadrilateral BEFD, we can see that EF is parallel to BD. It is already given, and just now I showed that DF is parallel to BE. So I have shown that two pair of opposite sides are parallel. So this becomes a parallelogram. Alright, so let's write down whatever we have discussed. So the proof is, see, first you will take triangle ABC. So in triangle ABC, what do you observe? E is the midpoint of BC and EF is parallel to BA, right? So this implies EF bisects AC, right? EF bisects AC. This implies AF will be equal to FC, right? This is from converse of midpoint theorem. Now again in the same triangle, in triangle ABC only, in the same triangle, D is the, or we can write down D and F are midpoints of AB and AC. This implies DF will be parallel to BC. Therefore, DF will be parallel to BE. From midpoint theorem. Now you will write down that in quadrilateral BEFD, in this quadrilateral, what do you observe? That EF is parallel to BD. Why they are parallel? It's given, right? And BE is parallel to DF. Why they are parallel? Proved above. So you can write down, since two pairs of opposite sides are parallel in quadrilateral BEFD, therefore BEFD is a parallelogram. Alright, so I hope this question is clear to everyone. Let's quickly recap. So what was given? Triangle ABC is given, where D is the midpoint of AB, E is the midpoint of BC, and EF is parallel to BA. Okay, so only this much is given. And what do we have to show? We have to show that BEFD is a parallelogram. So we took triangle ABC. In this triangle, E is the midpoint of BC and EF is parallel to BA, right? This much is given already. So from the converse of midpoint theorem, even F will be the midpoint of AC, right? Because EF will bisect AC. So F is the midpoint of AC. Now again in the same triangle, in triangle ABC only, we observe that D is the midpoint of AB. Why? It is given. And F is the midpoint of AC. Why? We just now we proved it, right? So DF is the line connecting both the midpoints. So from midpoint theorem, DF will be parallel to BC. This implies DF will be parallel to BE. So in this quadrilateral, in quadrilateral BEFD, we observe that BE is parallel to DF, just now we proved it, and EF is parallel to BD. It is given already. Therefore, this is a parallelogram since two pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So that's it for today. So few more questions I will be covering in my next video. So keep practicing. Until then, goodbye. Take care.